Take two. Bebe here. Hi, YouTube. Just a little rant today. When I was a kid, my extracurricular activities were ballet, tap, jazz, soccer, softball, tennis, and karate. I had swim lessons every summer until I was like 14. And I never got past like a level 2 class, which kind of sucked because I was not a strong swimmer. I always needed to hold on to something while in the middle of the pool, or I needed to hold on to the edge of the pool. I couldn't swim competitively, that's for sure. I could do the swim test to be able to go into the deep end, but I still sucked at it. And to this day, I still am a sinker, not a floater. And I still need to hold on to a pool noodle or a kickboard while I swim in the pool. But that's what I can do, and that's why I never upgraded past a level 2 in swim lessons from 8 years old until I was about 14, and then I just told my parents, stop sending me to swim lessons. I never get past level 2. I know how to swim. I just can't do it according to their standards. And I guess they gave in. They gave in, and I think I said something about it's embarrassing. I know how to swim, but it's embarrassing to be the oldest kid, the oldest teenager in the same level as 8 and 9-year-olds. I keep on getting older, but the kids keep on staying the same age in the level 2 swim class. Even when my school, which was right next to the public swimming pool in the spring, we'd have swim lessons in like a school and pool partnership. Even then, I was still in level 2 swim. And it was still, with my same classmates who also couldn't get past level 2 swim. And that's it. And I always ended up in the warm pool, in the little kid pool, because my muscle tone, my big swimming skills just didn't match my age. So, that's the next part of this is ballet, tap, jazz. I did ballet from pre-K until 3rd grade. That was 5 years. Pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. 5 years of ballet. Tap, I began 1st grade, and I did it in 2nd grade. That was 2 years. And then jazz, 3rd grade. So 3rd grade was just ballet and jazz. Now, why didn't I take tap in 3rd grade? I wanted to. I wanted to oh so badly. But at that age, I didn't have the emotional strength to do it. I had the physical strength. I had the stamina. I loved the movement of tap class. I loved the rhythm. I loved the movement. I loved shuffling my tap shoes on my feet on the tap mats. I liked all the different little foot tricks in tap class. I loved it. I loved having my hands on my hips all the time. That was good for me, because I'm kind of a hands on hips person all the time anyways. Even if I look mad, I'm not mad. I just tend to rest my hands on my hips when I'm not doing anything else with my arms or my hands. And that was easy for me as a kid. The problem was mean girls. Yes, mean girls in dance classes. And don't get at me with the whole, oh, but you could have told the teacher. Dance teachers become accustomed to the mean girl behavior, attitude, and atmosphere. And that teacher, Roseanne, she just didn't. She tuned it out. She'd been teaching dance for like 20 plus years, and she definitely had tuned it out probably when she was a kid, for God's sake. She loved dance. She was super skinny, super thin. She always wore leotards. She probably had a whole closet for bedroom full of leotards and tights and ballet shoes. She wore like the full unitard most of the time because it was comfy for her. I don't even remember how I got into a leotard. Did I just step into it? I don't remember. I maybe I had one that might have had a zipper in the back, but I don't remember. Um, in third grade, I started having some chest development as a girl, and I found that to be inconvenient and annoying, and I was having to wear a training bra underneath my leotard, and there were maybe two or three other girls who had the same thing going on, but I felt like it was inconvenient. I didn't like the feeling of all those extra layers. I really didn't. And so in first, the mean girls were mean. I can't really say much for pre-K and kindergarten, but first grade, they you could tell the attitude was there. Second grade, they were getting really sassy. And second grade was where it hurt. I felt like I was slapped in the face. I felt like I was being bit by a snake. And here's the thing, I wasn't really the victim in it, per se, but it's how I remember feeling. So in kindergarten and first grade, I had a classmate. Her name was Libby. She was a redhead. I was the blonde. We were in ballet tap together in first grade. Our moms decided, oh, we'll just alternate every Monday who picks up the kids and takes them to dance. And do an activity with them instead of, like, forcing them to dive into their homework packet they got that day. Because our dance classes were on Mondays. So, you know, it was easy and it was hard. First grade was fine. I had, I think, 5 classmates from my school, from my grade, in my ballet and tap class. That was fine. In second grade, my mom did not enroll me for jazz. Maybe she thought my motor skills were behind. Maybe she just didn't care. But she didn't enroll me in Jazz 1 in second grade. She said, oh, you can wait till third grade. Pissed me off. Some of the mean girls in my ballet and tap class combo, they were already in Jazz 1. So in second grade, Libby went to a different school because I guess her parents were like, oh, she needs to be in the gifted program. Now, she didn't live any closer to that school than she did to my school, which kind of lived at the halfway point between two schools, but she got moved. Whatever. And then in third grade, so second grade, the girls started getting mean and sassy and staring at me a lot, and I don't know, just something was off, and I could tell I wasn't wanted. I didn't want to be with the mean girls, and I wasn't even being bullied at my K-8 school in second grade. But it was getting the vibes of mean girl-itis in ballet and tap class for not being in Jazz 1. Hello, I was the kid, not the adult. I couldn't enroll myself in a jazz class. I couldn't sign up. I couldn't just show up. But, you know, little kids don't think about that stuff. So, I decided not to continue with tap because I didn't want that negative energy around me. I didn't want to be in the same tap class as mean girls, you know? So, third grade comes, my mom signs me up for ballet again and for jazz. They were on different days. I think ballet was still on Mondays, jazz was on Fridays. And in jazz, most of the kids were in second grade. Here's where it gets kind of funky. So, jazz begins. Libby and I are in Jazz 1 together. There's a couple of other girls from our third grade dance class in the same jazz class. And then there was a Saturday class that I actually went to a few times in third grade. That was the other third grade dance class. Um, and all those girls were definitely in the jazz class. The And then one day Libby didn't show up for jazz. I don't think I thought anything of it. And then the following Monday, she was getting pats on the back and getting she was well friends with the mean girls in ballet class because they all went to the same school. And apparently, they had taught her the dance routine and some of the jazz moves and some of the dance skills from the jazz one. And somehow, some way, Libby hadn't learned any of those dance skills from the teacher, but she learned it from other kids who probably got some of the moves wrong and hadn't performed that routine in quite a while. And you want to know something? They conned the teacher. A bunch of little girls. They conned the professional, been dancing professionally for 20, 30 plus years teacher into thinking, oh, she knows the dance routine. She's good at it. Yeah, you don't have to be in Jazz 1 to work on technique and skill and learning new dance skills. Oh no, you can skill straight in Jazz 2. I'm not kidding you. Jazz 2. And that pissed me the fuck off. In third grade, I actually had a reason to be pissed off. Because I saw through the bullshit and no one listened to me except my sister. My sister understood the issue. My sister actually skipped, I think, a tap class and a jazz class. Because they were like overcrowding issues when she was much, much younger. Like, there were 20 girls in the tap class and 25 in the jazz class, and she had the talent, she had the grace, she had the skill. I don't know what she did to be able to get into the next class, but I think it was a different situation. All I remember is that from my sister's dance photos from when she was a kid, there were too many girls in one dance class. Like an overcrowded classroom. Like 20, 25 girls in tap class, 20, 25 girls in a jazz class. It was probably like 4th grade or 5th grade. And so she got bumped up because she asked, and I think my mom asked as well, and my sister felt like she was being pushed aside and kind of pushed in the back, and too many girls, too many people, one really small dance studio, literally like a 600, not even 600, like a 500 square foot dance studio room. And with 25 girls, my sister she was feeling crowded. She didn't want to quit. She just wanted more space to be able to move. And I guess my mom made a fuss and got her into the next class. But you know what pissed me off in 3rd grade? Couple of little girls conned. Couple of 8-year-old girls, 9-year-old girls conned the dance teacher. Hey, look at me! I learned the routine of the dance class I wasn't in last year. But I'm in now. I learned the dance routine for the recital. And probably a couple of other little moves. And instead of learning the dance routine and the dance skills and the technique and the dance techniques in actual jazz class, in Jazz 1, or to be told, no, that's not how it works. You can learn the routine all you want, but that's not going to help you get ahead. You're going to be in Jazz 1 because you need to learn the skills. You need to work on the technique. You need to work on getting your muscles to do the right moves. in the right sequence, in the right pattern, with the right flexing of your toes and your feet, with the right positioning of your knees and your elbows and your arms and your legs. It takes time, especially with one 45-minute class a week. That's what the teacher should have said. That's what she should have done. Pissed me off. And all that year, it's not that I felt like I was left behind, but all that year in ballet, and I think the Jazz 2 was the class after Jazz 1, and when there's that like 10-minute gap between the two classes, and you're in this tiny little hallway walkway and the stairwell into the dance studio, and then the little girls' changing room, and then the big girls' changing room, which did not have a door, and it was very open. And there was that little 10-minute window for little girls to socialize and chit chat, and that 10 minutes was more than enough time for sassy attitudes of third grade girls bullying or picking on or getting in my face and showing off and belittling me, insulting me for not being able to keep up and not being in Jazz 2. Something I couldn't control. I was just a kid. I didn't sign up for the class. My parents made me sign up for the class. My parents signed me up for the class. Your parents signed you up for Jazz class in 2nd grade and then signed you up for Jazz 2 in 3rd grade. But you can't control who is in what class. I mean, little kids don't say that logic to each other, but that is the logic. I wish there had been an adult at that back then who had just lectured the fuck out of those little girls until they got tired of being lectured at and stopped being little bitches. But yeah, 2nd grade, they started getting sassy and attitude-ish, and I didn't want to be around that for tap in 3rd grade, so I decided not to do tap. Ballet and jazz, they were still sassy and attitude-ish and had scowls and grimaces and weird looks and giving me the side eye and rolling their eyes at me and not wanting to hold my hand and not wanting to partner up with me. It just in the, during dance class routines and things. It was just annoying. I'm not a dancer as an adult. I can't even get low anymore. But to anyone who's watching this, if you have kids and they're going into dance classes, or if you're a dance teacher, you're probably not watching this, but if you have kids and they're going into dance classes, teach your children ahead of time. As soon as you hear them make a single peep about the one girl in their ballet class who is a class behind in jazz, or a class behind in tap, or a class behind in hip-hop, or a class behind in lyrical, interrupt your child and say to them, parents sign their kids up for dance classes. It's the parents' decision of when their kid starts a new dance class and they go into level 1 because it's the first time they're doing that dance class. And so what if they're a dance class behind you? There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. It's okay. Because everybody is getting the dance experience. Everybody is getting that chance to dance. Everybody is getting that opportunity to learn new skills, to learn new moves, to work on their body skills and their dancing. There's no problem with being a class behind someone else or a class ahead of someone else. So that little girl in your ballet class, leave her alone. Don't worry about the class that she's in. That little girl over there in jazz class who's a year ahead in ballet, but obviously started jazz a little bit later. No big deal. Worry about yourself. And every time your kid starts up again, most likely with other kids, you interrupt and you give them all a good ear licking. And you just tell them, it's not up to you, or you, or you, or you, or you, or any of you, what level of a class somebody is in. Everybody is dancing, and that's what matters. Say it with me. Everybody is dancing, and that's what matters. Everybody is dancing, and that's what matters. Everybody is dancing, and that's what matters. And that's all that matters, folks. The dance class your kid is in, the level that they're in does not overly matter. And you need to teach your kids that. Because let me tell you something. Even if you think that your kid is a good enough dancer to keep on going until they're in 12th grade, they might be burned out by the time they're in 3rd grade or 4th grade or 5th grade. And they might be burned out physically. They might be burned out because you have them in too many classes, overscheduled. They might be burned out because they don't want to deal with the mean girls. I was burned out in 3rd grade after 5 years of ballet. I didn't want to deal with the mean girls anymore. And jazz, I was just doing it because my mom paid for it and I didn't want her to waste her money. And I got through it all. I didn't fully enjoy it. The only thing I liked was my leotard, my unitard that I had. That was great. I miss it. It had like a zebra pattern on it, but it was like purples and pinks and magentas and some white and some gray and some black. All this wicked awesome kind of camouflage design in pink and purple, magenta, fuchsia, white and gray with images of zebras in all the different colors. And it was a unitard, but it had the short legs. So it went down to like just above my knees. And I loved that leotard unitard. I loved it. I miss it. I don't have any photos of it. That's what gets me. There's no Kodak photos of it. It kind of pisses me off because I really like that one. There's Kodak photos of the jazz, the polyester jazz dance recital costume. There's photos of that. I never liked it. I thought the skirt was too short and the crop top was too itchy. And it even came with the matching underwear. Because if you're in dance class as a kid, you know you gotta wear the matching underwear that comes with it. Can't wear your own. So anyways, that's the issue. That's my rant. It's a long rant, but I did this with my iPad. Don't let your kids be bullies when they're in dance class. Don't let them bully someone else because they're a dance class ahead or a dance class behind. A level ahead, a level behind everyone else. Dancing is dancing is dancing is dancing is dancing. Dance class is dance class is dance class is dance class. It's all the same thing. It's the parents who make the decisions of when to sign their kids up for what classes. So stop picking on other kids about it because it's not in their control and they can't change it and they can't fix it. And they can't make you happy over it. And they can't please you. So stop it. That rule applies to anyone else who's watching this. Maybe you're an adult, maybe you're in the workplace and somebody is a ranking under you. And then everybody else in your group is your rank level in the workplace, and even though that person who is one rank below you is in the same social group, you still give them shit anyways over being one rank below you. Stop it. Just stop it. It doesn't help them get any higher. It doesn't help them get any better. Or in karate. That's what I did after I stopped doing dance class. I did karate for 4.5 years. I loved it. But at the very end of it, there was no teen class. It was like 8 to 17-year-olds. It was like 8 to 16-year-olds all in the same class. It was not conducive. It wasn't practical. It wasn't working out for anyone. There was a lot of intimidation, a lot of bullying. Yes, even that can happen when you take martial arts. The classes get too crowded. There's not enough adults actually supervising and providing good examples of how to behave, or providing ear lickings for the kids who misbehave. And you just end up having these issues of social conflicts between kids ranging from 8 to 16 that they wouldn't be having if they were in the same classroom in a public school. But you have them just in this after school activity, just too many kids, too wide of an age gap. It's not working. And that's really why I quit. And then, some of the little kids, they're really bossy and going through that, 9-year-old, 10-year-old stage of life of being really bossy, sassy attitude with, how come you're older than us but 3 belts behind us? I did something, and they did something, and then we all got ear lickings and punishments. But ultimately, I ended up quitting because I just couldn't. And I remember telling my sensei, they got to be a teen class. And I was in 7th grade, and I remember telling my sensei, there needs to be a teen class because this isn't working out. We're not old enough to be with the adults, but we're too old to be with the little kids. There goes my eye. That's a tear above my lip. That's just it. Don't mix the teens with the little kids. When you got too big of a class, do a teen class. And you know what? The following school year, they added a teen class. I went to it one time. They asked me to come back. And I went 1 time or 2 times, and I got too emotional. And I had some meltdowns afterwards when I got home. I was holding it in. I just couldn't do it. I just wasn't ready. I didn't want to return to it. And that's okay. I returned later when I was an adult, or 19, 20 years old, after high school. And that was better because I had time to mature and grow. I had time to develop a sense of behavioral maturity, emotional maturity. There were still times, being in the adult class, I felt intimidated or challenged, or I felt out of place. And there were a few times I was impulsive and forgot my words or forgot my actions and kind of got criticized for what I said or what I did. But at least I had given myself time to grow until I returned back to karate. Okay, this is a really long story time. Really long story time. If you made it this far, even if you zoomed ahead, thanks for sticking around. Please subscribe. I'm Bebe. Thank you. Bye.